everybody.
Hi, friends. Well, from beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank Feldman.
And I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up on the show today, Dan, we're going to be talking in the second half of the show. We're going to be talking about COVID deniers and how their brains are breaking.
Literally, people are melting the fuck down. Like, completely losing their minds. And we have theories about why and how that's happening and what's going on with them. We are, of course, the experts on this subject.
So stick around. You'll want to hear it.
You're going to need to know why this, what's going on and stuff. So that's coming up.
But first, we got some news of the week.
Various and sundry news
have happened in the world.
If there
stories have broken,
not just a new, but many news. It's a plural. Do you think that's where it comes from?
Oh, tell me the news.
What's new? Well, there are many news. I'll start with this one, and we'll just keep going.
Oh yeah, don't overthink. Yeah, okay. I'm sure that's where it comes from. Okay, Dan.
Yeah.
How many out of the top 20 Facebook pages for American Christians do you think are actually run by Eastern European troll farms? How many of the top 20 top Christian pages on Facebook
Wow.
are run by troll farms?
Well, you wouldn't have asked if it was low.
Probably true.
I'm going to go with 20.
19. Which is truly almost unbelievable, except, of course, it's not unbelievable at all.
Here's the thing. We know, like, they know how to figure this out.
Oh, yeah.
They know how to go through, like, do the forensics and figure it out.
Yeah.
But why doesn't Facebook? Anyway, Facebook should do
something about it. Yeah, that's like that's the $1 million question, isn't it?
Because we're not talking about some Eastern European group. We're talking about, or page, we're talking about something angled directly at Americans.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So internal documents from Facebook were leaked to the MIT Technology Review, and they went through and figured this whole thing out. The groups are largely based in Kosovo and Macedonia.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Macedonia? Come on, Macedonia.
God damn it, Macedonia.
Oh.
Will you stop fucking with it? Well, and probably it's all funded by Russian money.
Yeah, it doesn't get into that in the article, but yeah, that's a very good guess as to where the money's coming from. Yeah, but they're obviously very successful in how they target American Christians.
Yeah.
They know how to manipulate the algorithm, which the article describes as what's the engagement hungry algorithm. Which means that people will be seeing, like, you don't have to go and have liked one of these pages for Facebook to feed you this this content, right?
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna interject here and just as a public service announcement say, if there is a very provocative post that you see, or a non-provocative post that just is like, comment your favorite 80s blah 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 or whatever. If you don't already like the page that posted that, whoever posted that, if that's not something that you have liked, do not engage.
Right.
Don't fucking write your answer, even though you are going to want to, because somehow they have managed to hit a fun little trigger button for you, or an angry button for you.
Absolutely.
Don't engage. All it does is then show it to all of your friends. You are just perpetuating it. You are pushing it beyond you.
That's a good point. So the Christian Facebook pages collectively reach about 75. These specific Christian Facebook pages collectively reach about 75 million users a month.
Yeah.
And that is an audience that's 20 times larger than the size of the next largest Christian Facebook page.
Holy shit.
And these have names like Be Happy, Enjoy Life.
Uh-huh.
Jesus is my Lord.
Great.
Speak Loudly. Purpose of Life. Memories of a Loved One.
Oh.
Shine and Smile.
Oh my God.
Light of the World. Happiness in Your Mind. Life is Beautiful. Blessing. And then down at number 17 in the rankings is Guideposts, which is not a troll farm.
Oh, good job, Guideposts.
So Guideposts is competing and beating out a lot of troll farms.
I'm actually kind of impressed that they're probably hiring the same firm.
It's being run out of Macedonia.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what we should do. Why, Franklin, are we not hiring some Macedonian troll farm to get our shit out there?
Push Thank God I'm Atheist.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea. Except it's a bad idea.
Listeners, if you have any hookups with Macedonian troll farms,
or if you work in one,
let us know.
It's possible.
We could use the boost.
Yeah.
And can I just say, I had a conversation with a Christian, a Mormon guy who was just furious about mask mandates and about vaccines and blah 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 blah. And he said, "You know what really makes me mad is all the lies." And I said, "Yep." That's a big problem. Because I knew I wasn't going to convince him that he was the one on the receiving end of the lies.
I know.
But guess what?
You're
a Russian. That's what you are. You are an unofficial Russian citizen. Congratulations, comrade.
Yeah.
Well, I will take us from that to Baltimore City.
Oh, yeah.
Where there is to be a Roman Catholic convention of bishops of some sort. I don't really know what it is.
What is that called?
A convocation? It's a gaggle of bishops. A murder. I'm not going to say the joke that just came to my mind. But please fill in you know where it's going, kids at home. You can fill that one in on your own. Anyway, and don't send it in to us.
Because we already know what it is.
We already know.
I've already gone through 5 different ones.
Just enjoy it in your own mind and try not to be triggered by your damn self. In the meantime, there was going to be a counter rally for this, set up not by liberals, but by another sort of quasi-church group, Michigan-based St. Michael's Media, which you've probably never heard of. You've probably also never heard of the other name that St. Michael's Media goes by, which is Church Militant.
Really?
Now, Church Militant had applied to have a big protest in Baltimore, and everything was going fine. And then the city said, "No, we're canceling that."
Oh,
and now they're suing. Here's the thing: the city of Baltimore their police is wildly understaffed currently. This is a known problem, and they are very concerned because because this event was touting speeches by one Steve Bannon.
Oh God.
And Milo Yiannopoulos.
Oh God.
I don't know if y'all know who these guys are. Steve Bannon was former Donald Trump chief strategist and
Breitbart guy.
Walking advertisement for why you shouldn't get smallpox. He just looks like he's diseased. Have you ever noticed that? He looks
ill.
He looks like he has some horrible dread disease.
Yeah.
Whenever those two guys speak at anything, turns out there's fucking violence.
Yeah.
These guys drag violence wherever they go. And it's not a leap to say that if the organization is called Church Militant, and they're there to counter protest something.
Mm.
These are the same guys. These are the same guys that attract the 1%ers or the 3%ers and the Proud Boys and all of these stuff.
Yeah.
It's violence. That's what they like to talk about. That's what they, Bannon regularly calls for violence against government officials. He talks about beheading Fauci and, FBI Director Christopher Wray and all this stuff. So it is not a leap, but now they're suing because they didn't want, they don't want to not have their rally. They want to have their rally.
Yeah.
So,
well, they've planned. They've rented ballrooms. And
yeah. Yeah. I think it's out in the square or whatever, but yeah.
Oh.
According to Yiannopoulos, who works for St. Michael's, he says, he's turned over a new leaf. He doesn't attract the same violence he used to. He's a kinder, gentler Milo now that he's ex-gay.
Right.
Now that he's turned straight, everything's fine, you guys.
Well, he was one of those militant gays.
Oh, they're the worst. No, I like a good militant gay. Let me tell you something. Those are the good ones. It's just when they're on the wrong side of every issue that they become a problem.
Right. He was fighting for the wrong side of
Everything.
the militant gays.
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right, Dan. I'm going to head on over to Pakistan.
Ooh.
Where a former school principal by the name of Salma Tanvir
Okay.
is facing the death penalty.
Oh.
Actually, she's been sentenced to death for blasphemy
Yeah.
because she has claimed that she's a prophet.
Oh.
She's distributed tracts
Oh.
of her writings.
Oh.
And she denies the finality of prophethood.
Which
Is-
in a Muslim country
Means Muhammad is the last prophet.
they're
There will be
they're
no other prophets after Muhammad.
pretty adamant about that one.
That's he's.
I mean, it says it
he's
right
a
in their
big
book.
deal.
He was very clear. I'm the last one. Don't believe anybody after me.
Well, isn't that nice, Muhammad?
Right?
Okay, that's cool.
Way to
be
pull
in
the
that
ladder up
position.
behind you, dickhead.
Yeah, no kidding. It's really a bad move.
Yeah.
It's a bad look.
It is.
really, for
It
a
is.
prophet.
Honestly, the optics
You know.
on that Muhammad are really bad.
But you don't want other people coming along and messing up your work,
Yeah, it's true.
right? Like you laid it all out. It's basically perfect. I mean, he did a really bang up job
Yeah.
with Islam.
If
right?
if anybody's ever read the Quran, they know it's just you can't. It's unassailable.
yeah,
I will say this: your story. It sounds to me like probably more than the prophet thing
Mhm.
is the woman thinking she knows something thing. That's,
Oh shush! No, apparently
I'm
look,
guessing
I mean,
that's what gets you the death penalty.
that.
If you're a male distributing
Oh.
tracts of prophecy,
Blasphemy will get you the death penalty.
yeah, but like
And
usually you have to say
deny the finality of the prophet is
Yeah.
enough for blasphemy.
yeah.
But I hear your point. What caught everybody's attention so completely was this uppity school principal
Yeah,
who had some things to say.
with the wrong pronouns.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess there was a complaint in 2013. They're just getting around to it. They have a backlog in their judicial system too.
She had
you know.
that long to get out of there.
Well, who knows? She's probably been in jail the whole time.
Yeah, that's true.
But according to there was a 22-page long verdict
Mhm.
issued by the judge. He says, I'm assuming he.
Yeah, obviously.
It is proved beyond reasonable doubt that accused Salma Tanvir wrote and distributed the writings, which were derogatory in respect of Holy Prophet Muhammad, and she failed to prove that her case falls in exception, and it gets legalese, citing stuff. Apparently, if you can just prove you're crazy,
Yeah.
they won't kill you, right?
Yeah.
And so
She didn't prove she was crazy?
Apparently her lawyer tried, but
It's like-
a court ordered analyst said that she was fit to stand trial.
Can you just scream
And
in
that's enough.
court or like oogity boogity or something? I just need you
for
to.
crying out loud, just claiming that you're a prophet should be enough.
Right?
But therein lies a problem,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So
I mean, in this country, any Tom, Dick, or Harry, any fireman or football coach can just jump in and claim that they're a prophet, and we all have to go along with it. Apparently,
yeah, no, it's true. You have to start
in this,
like those specific honorifics.
yeah,
Coach
Coach
Dave.
or just be a pink-haired old lady and just say the craziest shit in the world, and someone will give you a platform.
What is that? Cindy? Oh no, that's not Cindy.
Kat Kerr.
Yeah, okay. Cindy Jacobs is another one.
Yeah,
Who kills me?
they could just
That lady's nuts.
They could just say anything. Someone will believe them here. Our country is screwed.
We should have finality here.
Shut.
There should be just pick
Why?
one. That's
Why-
the last.
Why wasn't Jesus enough for you? Why wasn't that a good enough that is a great final prophet. You don't need any more prophets after Jesus. Oh well.
Well, at least they're more exciting than like the dumb Mormon kind.
Oh God.
Good God. When was the last good Mormon prophet who actually said anything interesting?
Oh Lord. Well, I'm gonna take I don't know where this guy is based. Oh, Orange County. This is a guy who had this is a cautionary tale. I chose this because I want everyone to learn a lesson here. There is good money to be made out there as a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
If you're clever and wicked, there is good money to be made. This guy did it the wrong way. He was already a convict of some sort. He had already committed. He had a record.
Okay.
He had a rap sheet.
All right.
He starts the Church for the Healthy Self.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Doesn't it just?
That's important. Health is important.
Which he made an entirely online venture, but had a little, but was headquartered in some strip mall somewhere in California.
Okay.
But then, because he had a background in finance, he decided.
Is that what he went to jail for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some white collar thing. Commodities fraud.
Yeah. Okay.
So then he just starts promising investment help. So he apparently targeted, I don't know why, he is from what I can tell, a white dude, but apparently targeted the Vietnamese community. And basically what he promised was no risk investment plans with a promised 12% rate of return. Now, that's not a thing.
That's not how you can. Yeah.
That doesn't
Can't promise
exist.
that. Yeah.
There's no such thing as a no risk investment,
Right.
and 12% is high.
Yeah.
Very high.
But
You can make 12%, but
Yeah.
like you got to be real good.
that gets your attention.
Yes.
Like if you haven't been making 12%, you want 12%.
Yeah. Now, I want to contrast this with all these other fucking scam evangelists out there who make a fucking fortune
Mm-hmm.
just hollering about how Jesus, but what you don't do is say, invest with me. You say, give to me. And then you're fucking clear.
Right.
The law can't touch you. It's a little bit harder sell. You got to engage people a little bit more. But I mean, they basically do the same thing. They promise, like these prosperity gospel dickheads, promise a rate of return from Jesus, but they never promise to sign that check.
Yeah. Give God 10, he'll give you 12.
Yeah. And by the way, God is me. Like, give me.
Well, yeah, but that's it always has to go through some
Right.
sort of
Give God 10%.
middleman.
Give God 10% of your income, but make the check out to me.
Right. I'm gonna watch God's money.
That's how the scam works, and it works great.
It should just be fucking illegal.
It should probably be, but it isn't. And you don't even have to you don't pay taxes on it. You don't have to tell the government what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
You're free and clear. It's a great scam. It's a gorgeous scam. But this ding dong does the fucking investment thing. He ripped people off to the tune of about $33 million.
Wow.
And now is going to jail.
Oh.
Was sentenced to now if he were a black dude who was caught with some amount of controlled substance, he'd be going to jail for 30 years to life. But he's a white dude who did $33 million of scamming, so he only gets 14 years.
Wow.
So anyway, there you go. Like I said, it's a cautionary tale. If you're going to do the scam,
look to others for some inspiration. See what works, what doesn't work.
There are best practices here.
Get a mentor.
Yeah.
Somebody who kind of show you the ropes.
Yep.
Don't just make it up.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. There you go.
Dan.
Yeah.
Oh golly. This whole Taliban thing with them, back in charge in Afghanistan. It just keeps getting better. Day by day, just so much good news coming out of Afghanistan right now.
Yep. Nothing
just
bad happening there.
Makes me feel proud to be an American.
Well, now that they're no longer under our occupation,
they can flourish.
They can just open their wings and fly, baby.
And that is not what's happening. Sadly, the situation specifically for women is just getting worse and worse. As the transitional government was first sort of taking the reins, those first few days, the crazy couple first weeks, they were guaranteeing that women would still have a place in the public sphere.
Right.
Right. And then, we need you, back in the burqas, please.
Yeah.
And we need you this. And
I don't feel like the Taliban was doing much please. I don't think there were many pleasantries.
I don't know. Have you ever listened to these guys talk? They sound like they're doing everybody a favor.
Yeah.
Right. And anyway, the Taliban has appointed a new chancellor of Kabul University.
Oh, of course.
Which means that
I'm guessing it's an academic. It's a stunning academic.
Yeah.
That they've put in.
And it was such a great choice, right? He's really going to do a lot for the university. The first thing that he's done for the university is that he has banned women.
Well, that's the first thing they all do.
Which they had been guaranteed, not even just a couple of weeks ago, if I remember correctly. They were told that they could still study, but they would need to be in rooms with like a wall between the men and the women, and the professor could be at the front or some sort of thing like that.
Right.
And the women, of course, still had to be in their burqas.
Right.
And if you're not familiar with the burqa, it's a nice garment.
It's not we're not just talking about a hijab. You're not just in a headscarf.
Yeah. It's not even just a simple little veil.
It's a ghost costume. Yeah. You're dressed as a black ghost.
Yep. People can see your eyes. That's what they're allowed to see.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
And even that feels a little racy, if you ask me.
Well, yeah. Those are sexy eyes.
What if she looks at me?
Oh, God, don't. I'm sure women know not to look at.
Yeah, don't make eye contact.
So, yeah, the Kabul University is now... women are barred from attending. Very quickly, the Taliban has done everything they said they wouldn't do, and which was they were going to try. They said they were going to try to be like a little bit more open, a little bit more this, a little bit more that. But they're going back to what they know best, and
What they did was, as the Americans were getting on the planes, they were like pushing everybody up into the plane and going, yeah, we'll take care of the women. Don't worry. They're going to be fine. You, okay, have a nice trip. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And then
It's brutal. Everything that you know about Afghanistan from the late 90s. That's what this is again.
They're back, baby.
Yeah. Isn't that
it's
awesome?
It's fun.
Oh,
they have
God,
fun.
It makes
Darn
me
it.
sick.
I feel like Afghanistan's off my want to travel to list now.
Oh, the international airport's opening back up for business. So you could.
I could.
The official.
Maybe I should reconsider.
The tourism board of Afghanistan. Their website's back up.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but
no.
the airport is reopening, and they're trying to get commercial flights to come back.
I feel like if I looked at Afghanistan from a distance, I would be arrested. I feel like that's what would happen. All right. Finally, Spokane, Washington has a church called Covenant Church, which sounds just cute.
Yeah.
And one of the cute things that they do is that they've got church away from church.
Oh God.
They've got a little meeting that they liked to do. It was their favorite thing. They called it, and this is true, TCAP, which stands for the Church at Planned Parenthood.
Oh.
So this is a group that would go and just harass women as they went in for healthcare.
Oh God.
That was their big shtick. They were going to save the babies by assaulting women.
And they gave it a cute name.
Isn't it cute? It's adorable. And they would block the door. They would have loudspeakers that they would yell, and they would, try to humiliate and embarrass women as they walked in. And it was just, everything that we've grown to expect from American Christianity. They now have, obviously there were objections to this. There have been legal proceedings. A judge put a temporary injunction on them not to go in, but unfortunately, only the leaders of the church were listed in the lawsuit. So the temporary injunction only enjoined those leaders from going and doing any of this stuff. So
right.
The members of the church were still out there harassing
Free
and haranguing.
to do the Lord's work.
Yeah. Because if there's one thing that Jesus said, it was treat other people badly to force them to do what I want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
That was. That's the crux of his message. I would say.
Yeah. He was kind of a douche.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, there has been a development. There has now been a ruling, and the injunction is now permanent and applies to the entire congregation. So they can still, of course, protest. Protests are legal in the United States.
Right.
They have to wait until an hour after the clinic stops taking patients. So like 6 p.m. They have to be at least 30 feet, 30 yards, 30 units, 35 feet from the building.
Okay.
And they can't unreasonably disturb the peace with their noise. I just wanted to end with that. There was a small little victory in a country that is going in exactly the wrong direction.
Yeah.
On that front. At very least, women in Spokane will be a tiny bit safer. So
harassment. Yeah.
Hooray for that.
Good for Spokane.
Yeah.
That's good.
And hopefully that maybe stuff like that can keep happening around the country. Anyway, if you belong to a church that thinks it should yell at humans, write into us. Podcast at thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442. Stick around. There's more show coming right up. Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Do you know what I like more than anything?
What?
A surprise.
Oh, well, I've got one for you. Because usually, for the longest time we would decide which audio to play between us and whatever, but you don't need that. You don't need that extra work.
Why should I be involved?
I'll just do it. I'll just put in the effort myself.
Yeah.
So
you surprise me.
We're going to hear from, I don't know if you know the name Jesse Duplantis. Do you remember that name?
No.
He's an old guy, pastor. He's one of these, he's big in the televangelist world. He's pretty big.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He hangs out with Kenneth Copeland.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, the audio that we're going to play is him on Victorython. So it's like a telethon. It's like, you know, it's the Jerry's Kids, only it's for making these guys rich. And if you think that I am being unkind by saying it's about making these guys rich, I'll just let Jesse Duplantis set you straight.
I honestly believe this, that the reason why Jesus hadn't come is because people are not giving the way God told them to give. You see what I'm saying? Wow. I mean, when you understand it, you can speed up the time. I was on television. He said, I heard you was a millionaire. I said, that's not right. That's not true. He said, yes, it is. I said, no, it's not. Multi. Now, add that to it and you'll be all right. Oh, he couldn't handle that. He like to have had a fit. And I said, you mess with me, I'll buy this station and I'll fire you. Yeah, he didn't like that, did he? You know, that was a little fleshy, but it felt good. Just did. You know, I'm not saying it's wrong. So I realized that I will not move people emotionally to give.
Right. No.
I'm going to have people move according to the Word of God. What is God saying to you? And I really believe this. If people would call this number and put this victory all over the world on every available voice, every available outlet, God, the Father, he would say, Jesus, go get him.
Yeah.
Because you see, he wants to see us as much as we want to see him. You see what I'm saying? And so what has hindered all these things is, it's because people are not doing in the financial realm, because we live in an economic world, what God's called them to do. You know, he's called us to do that. So I don't have a problem with giving. I don't have a problem with receiving. It didn't make any difference, because I just made up my mind. I want Jesus to come. Now, they said, do you own a jet? Yes. You can have it the day after the rapture. It's yours. Because Jesse is going to heaven.
Because of Jesse is going to heaven.
It's, yeah.
Wow. So yeah, you can have my jet. I've made Jesus so much money.
It is. Wow. If you had asked me 10 years ago, before I had really before I had dived into the, as deeply as we have into the world of Christianity and especially this prosperity gospel bullshit.
Yeah, I know.
If you had told me that a prosperity gospel televangelist would say out loud, would basically brag about having multi-million dollars, jets, private jets.
I know.
Yeah, I would say, well, that guy is going to lose all of his money.
Right.
Because no one would give to that asshole. But I've learned a lot about human psychology since then. And it turns out that will guarantee him to get a whole fuck ton more money.
It's insanity, isn't it? It's just, Kenneth Copeland, like you said jets.
Yeah.
And with Kenneth Copeland, nothing could be further from the truth. I don't know this guy's, number of jets, but didn't Kenneth like he just keeps upgrading and asking for the next bit, but he doesn't even like get rid of the smaller one.
He's got like 4 of them.
I think it's more than that. Like it's obscene.
Yeah.
And then the fact that he could be so like be bragging about I'm not a millionaire. I'm a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
I'll buy the station, fire you.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
and
what the fuck?
Like when I hear that kind of talk, I immediately, I don't know about you, Frank, I hate that person.
Yeah, absolutely. But this audience is loving it.
They are lapping it up with a spoon. These guys, because the whole point is the way that they have structured this, which I'm not going to say is not genius, is the more money I have, the more it shows how much God loves me.
Right.
So which is why Trump won. You know what I mean? Like, the more money you have, the more you are obviously favored by God. And therefore, if you tell me I should give you my money, me being someone who works hard for a pittance,
Right.
well, of course I'm going to do it.
Well, so God must really like Bill Gates and George Soros.
How dare you?
And
That's Jew God, and that's a different God, and he's a dick. Oh my God.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, I love how the logic, like, it only goes so far.
Well, that's
Right.
the other trick of Christianity is don't take the logic any further. They say it out loud, like, don't think about it, just feel about it.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking too much and it hurts your brain, stop thinking. There's nothing about this that said, that says think differently. Just stop the thinking.
Mhm.
That's your problem right there.
Mm.
Thinking. All right. Well, we have some thinking people who have written into us about various things. Adam wrote into us last week. You'll recall, Frank, that we talked about Christianity being under review. It's not under attack. It's under review.
Sure.
Adam said, I liked your comments on Christianity being under review. I used to do freelance video camera work for local town meetings, which is just as exciting as it sounds. Yeah, that sounds like torture. When even as much as a zoning ordinance is proposed, it's debated. What problem is this trying to solve? What is the cost to dollars and or freedom? What will the proposed solution actually solve the problem? If Christians or any religion try to make religious laws, there should be a discussion and debate. Christians sometimes confuse this for persecution, but it's just reasonable discussion and scrutiny. But they could get out of the business of religious law and just practice their religion anytime they wanted. I agree. Josh wrote into us, hey, Frank and Dan, as a former born-again evangelical, I grew up believing the red letters. We talked about the red letter parts of the Bible.
Yeah, being Jesus's words.
Being Jesus's words. I grew up believing, this is Josh again, I grew up believing the red letters were, in fact, Jesus's actual words. And yes, we were told we should live by them, despite the fact that few of my fellow parishioners did. As I deconverted, I went through a phase where I tried to strip out all the peripheral crap out of the Bible and only focus on what Jesus said. It's a fine goal until someone pointed out that exactly none of the quotes attributed to Jesus were actually said by him. We're talking hearsay upon hearsay upon hearsay, coupled with translations and political manipulations of the content of the book. The only thing we can say for sure is that the words in red are attributed to Jesus. So if the words of the, quote, Son of God can be falsely attributed and manipulated to fit a narrative, then it stands to reason that the red letters are as unreliable as all the black letters. Not a criticism of the show, but I found it really interesting that both of you used language that accepted the premise that the Bible contains actual quotes from Jesus. I don't think that that's what we were thinking. It may have sounded like we were saying that. We may have said it in a way that makes that sound like that.
I kind of, and this, I always, there's sort of a pretense in my head that like,
Sure.
right, that like, I am willing to sort of meet the Christians at their little line,
Right.
which is, they say it's real.
Right.
And so I'm like, okay, fine. Still sucks.
Yeah, when we talk about the Bible, we may be talking about it from their perspective.
Yeah.
But no. Look, do I even believe that there was a historical Jesus? I don't have a belief about that.
yeah,
I don't believe strongly one way or the other, but I definitely don't believe that there was necessarily a historical Jesus. So
Right.
no, I fully understand these were not the words of a Lord and Savior.
Right.
They were, but they're just the ones attributed. Yes. So,
Yeah.
so
no,
yes.
but very well put. And
Thanks
point
for
taken, and
thanks for giving us a
we should
chance
probably
to
be a
clear
little
it
more
up.
clear about
Yeah.
our.
Yeah. You listeners may be surprised to learn, we don't believe in Jesus. Like, even if there was a guy, we don't believe in him.
Right.
We're not followers. Not a fan. Anyway, Ian wrote in. We may have missed something, Frank. And I wanted to read this out loud because other people might be in the same boat, and it's important that we get this out there.
Okay.
Dear Frank and Dan, I signed up to be priest status a while back, but unless I've missed it, you haven't given me a shout out yet.
What?
Can you confirm if my magical powers have been invoked? I've been putting olive oil on people's heads in my local vaccination queue, but I must not have blessed it right because they just told me to fuck off.
Oh, no.
Yours in anticipation with a bottle of Filippo Berio at the ready, Ian.
Did I miss someone?
We may have missed. I don't look. Our system is. We like to think of it as perfect, but it's probably closer to. We could very easily miss somebody.
Well, I just feel terrible because
yes.
it's the one thing we say we're going to do.
And we definitely always want to do it.
Yeah.
So we want you to write in to us to correct you. And Ian,
Yeah.
we lay our hands upon your head and confer upon you the title of priest. Please go forth and bless everybody that you can. Please try not to get arrested in the process.
Right. Yeah, that's nice. Do you remember the blessings? Do you remember the?
No, I was never like
not the blessings.
I was never an elder, so I never gave blessings.
I'm trying to think if I ever gave anybody the priesthood.
I think priesthoods,
Like for realsies.
I think priests
By fixies, I mean.
priests can technically give blessings.
Yes. I was involved in that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I never
But you're supposed to be an elder.
I always felt so weird about it. I never led one of the blessings.
No.
And if I ever did, maybe like on my mission, I'm trying to recall if I ever did, they were pretty basic.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, get better.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
By the power of the holy Melchizedek priesthood which we hold, we lay our hands upon your head and say,
Get better.
I hope you're better. Bye.
The Lord now compels me to say, get better.
Get better. Name of Jesus Christ, amen. Bye. So sorry about that, Ian. Speaking of donors, we got a few people to thank.
We do.
I'm going to launch us off. We've got Glenn, who has decided to kick a little bit into the bucket. He is now a deacon.
Yeah.
Welcome, and blessings be upon you. You're now magic. Congratulations.
And we have 3 new patrons
Okay,
over on Patreon.
great.
We have Aaron, who's a new elder. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
We have a new.
Oh, an elder. Wow, you have
elder.
the good
Yeah,
priesthood.
that's pretty good.
That's the pretty
You
superpower.
can do some stuff.
Yeah,
You can't do all the things.
You can do most of the stuff.
Yeah,
the
the
time you get
day
to
to day, the housekeeping. type
Understand
stuff.
that once you get to elder, that is as much power as a 19-year-old in Mormonism. So pretty awesome.
We have Alec, who's a new teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and we have Benjamin, who's a new priest.
Oh,
So-
congratulations all.
Thank you to the 3 of you.
Yeah.
We sure do appreciate it. And if you'd like to join them, you can go to thankgodimatheist.com and click on the support tab.
Yeah. Give us your money. We give you magic powers. It's a great deal.
And we're saving up for a jet.
Eventually we're almost there. We're almost there.
We're like maybe
see.
drone.
We
We could get a drone.
You know what? People have asked me if I'm a thousandaire, and I say, no, I'm not. Multi. I say multi-thousandaire. Anyway, thank you guys so much. And I think there's one more person to thank.
There is indeed, Dan. There's our top donor, our Lord and Savior, Demonium. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much.
Stick around. More show coming up.
Okay, so Frank,
Dan.
you were fairly recently on an airplane with a ding-dong who threw a fit.
Yeah, some guy in front of us, the row in front of us, kitty corner from us, and he was from the outset just fussing about his mask.
Just belligerent.
Not belligerent. He was never belligerent until the very end.
Okay.
But he was fussing with it. The flight attendants kept having to ask him to put it back on. Then there was a long period where it was just down on his chin. Nobody was saying anything. So I went and complained to the flight attendants. And they were like, okay, we'll deal with it. And I'm like, well, listen, I don't want to wear a mask. I hate these things.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm doing it because that's what's expected of me. And it's the right thing.
Right.
And I have to do it. You guys have to do it. So why are you really just like not making this guy do it? And he was like, okay, all right. And so as the plane was about to land, he talks to the guy. The guy refuses. The flight attendant looks at me and just kind of shrugs his shoulders and walks away. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, right? And we land. We're pulling up to the airport. And I'm just like, God damn it, this guy's going to totally get away with this. And then I see security arriving because it was in Belize. And so it was like stairs being rolled up to the plane.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, this will be fun.
Yeah.
And that's when the shit hit the fan. And a member of our party also decided to get into the fray.
Right.
And it was a joy. It was just a delight to watch the whole thing.
So here's the thing. We are getting reports of this everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
People who know how to obey the rules, because after 9/11 in these United States, everybody had to do new rules in airports, on planes. You had to take off your shoes. There was a whole bunch of shit that just...
The shoes makes me crazy.
Sure.
I'll take off my belt. Fine. My shoes.
Well, there was a shoe bomber.
I know there was.
And the point is, it's theater. It was never keeping us any safer.
No.
But they were doing security theater.
Right. Europe doesn't take their shoes off.
Right.
They seem fine.
Yeah, they're fine. Here's the thing. All of these old white dudes just did it.
Yeah.
Because it was patriotic to them. Because it was like, okay, George W. told us we have to do it. We're going to do it.
Right.
Now these people are losing their minds. All over the country, there's a fairly steady stream of YouTube videos, of TikToks, of guys. There's one that I think you saw it too. He's growling and he's chewing his mask angrily, and he's like, he has lost his damned mind.
Yeah.
These are mostly sane people otherwise.
Maybe.
I would guess most of them. It's happening far too frequently to be, I mean, and a lot.
I mean, there is a mental health problem in this country.
Well, yeah. And the truth is that like a pandemic is upon us, and all of us are we're
on edge. I mean, I'm not trying to like, make excuses for these people, but just the amount of it that's happening, and it's happening at restaurants with like patrons being nasty about like the rules,
patrons beating up hostesses.
Yeah.
Who are just like, it's insanity. And so I've been thinking about this.
Okay.
And here's what I think is happening, or here's one of the elements that I think is really breaking these people, because they're melting down.
Yeah.
And what is happening is people that they trust, whether it be the Tucker Carlsons of the world, or it's their pastor, or it's Donald Trump, or whoever, people that they have put their trust in, have been giving them steady messaging that masks are bad and liberal, that the vaccine, the virus, at first the virus wasn't even real, and then it wasn't as bad as everyone said it was, and then it was, it's fine, it's just the flu, and it's all of these different things. And it's that messaging constantly changes. It's never true.
Right.
And it constantly changes as
It's hard to keep up.
the truth becomes obvious. Because do you remember that for a long time their messaging was masks are dangerous? Masks will kill you. There's bacteria in the masks.
Well, you can't
You can't breathe. You can't get any oxygen through.
I mean, I don't know how surgeons have survived
Right.
up to this point.
Well, that was it for many months. That was the messaging on masks.
Yeah.
Well, eventually you start to notice that all of these people are masking and they're fucking fine.
They're not dying. Yeah.
They're hearing no stories about anyone having problems with the mask anymore. And there were stories about it. I remember at the beginning, my mother-in-law telling me that someone at her work personally knew 2 people who had gotten bacterial infections from their masks.
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because they fucking lie.
Yeah.
Because they're identity politics. And look, identity politics affects people on the left and the right.
Of course it does. Yeah.
But their identity politics is such that they have to identify. They have to go with whatever the narrative is that they're being fed. And I think it's so rapidly changing. And of course they don't acknowledge that they were lying before. They just changed to the new message.
Right.
But it's clear that they were lying before.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't go back. You can't not notice that like they were lying before.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's genuinely breaking these people to realize, to know that like they can see reality.
Right.
And they have to believe something that flies directly in the face of what they're saying.
Do you think they're starting to see the scope of the lies? Because
I don't think they're acknowledging it.
Because I had a very interesting, I found it interesting, thought after, down in Arizona, there was the recount in Maricopa County, and like they brought in like this outside Republican group paid for by Republicans in order to find what
cyber
Donald
ninjas
Trump had told them was the truth.
Was there. Guaranteed.
And then they go, and my thought was, these fuckers, they're just going to lie about it.
Well, that's what we all assumed.
And then they come out and they actually found votes for Biden, and they found fewer votes for Trump, and they actually admit it.
Yeah.
And they put it out there, and I'm like, wait a second, that just doesn't work with my view of them. And then I go, wait a second, there really are just a few liars who know they're lying.
Yeah.
And the rest of everybody is just following it.
Yeah.
Right. And this group, they went in with like high principles and like, we're going to report the truth. And they did.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and they assumed that they were going to find those.
They assumed they would find something
thousands
different.
Of votes for Trump that were somehow hidden under a stone
and
somewhere.
It probably blew their minds that they didn't, and they probably had to go through it again and again. And finally, they were like, "Well, this is just what it is."
Yeah,
and they were honest about it.
Yeah,
right. And it's like, wait a second, how many honest actors do we have out there who are just repeating the lie?
Yeah.
Right. And then kind of started to change my perspective or my perception of the whole thing.
Interesting.
And I was like, holy fuck, when does it break as a lie? Because doesn't it have to break at some point?
I don't know.
Some level?
The problem is that they're so adept at just shifting the goalposts. Just move away from it. Distract, shake your hands and say, no, here's the real problem, and scream about something new.
Mm-hmm.
And never, ever go back and revisit that old.
Should we be not arguing with them, because we know that that's not super productive, but how do we point out to them the thing that they just stopped believing?
Someone write to us and compile a list of things that used to be the narrative that have turned out not to be true.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, for the longest time, now they're still touting this idea, I still keep seeing it all the time. Why are people dying of the vaccine? And we know that they're not. There have been, I think, 4 deaths connected with just the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. No other deaths associated with any of the vaccines. And they know why the Johnson & Johnson thing, they actually have mitigation now. So that's not going to ever happen again.
Mm-hmm.
or it's unlikely to.
Mm-hmm.
But then those 4 deaths are then added to the 8,000 self-reported deaths in the VAERS thing that are like, just they got the vaccine ... intermittent whatever
Mm-hmm.
death.
Hmm.
Not vaccine equals death, but vaccine time death. So like, all those
Vaccine,
people,
time, trip, death.
right? Or the cancer finally got them,
Right. Right.
but it got them after the vaccine, so that counts too. And this is none of it's reported by like medical professionals or anything like that. It's just,
I haven't heard that one. This is really a thing.
oh yeah.
That's amazing.
So that'll turn out not to be true too, because
Right.
America is vaxing finally at a the vaccination rate is going steadily up.
Well, and a lot of the puppet masters are trying to figure out a way
They're pivoting
to let their people out of
the trap
that
they
they're-
set for them.
Yeah, exactly. Of not being of what was the quote? We read it earlier where, and I was just looking for it on my phone and I couldn't find where I had it.
There was one
But-
guy. Yeah, who was it? I don't remember who it was.
But it was somebody at Breitbart.
Yeah.
Who's like one of these like spin guys,
Yeah.
spin masters or whatever. And he's literally blaming the Democrats.
He's accusing the Democrats.
Yeah.
Of masterminding
Mm-hmm.
the right's mass not taking of the vaccine.
And saying that it's reverse psychology.
So the way that the Democrats did this was by cleverly saying, "Get the vaccine."
And of
This
course-
was our diabolical plan.
And but I mean, honestly, what is that saying about your own community? That whatever the Democrats say, of course we have to just fold our arms and say no.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
Like-
what you're admitting to. What you're admitting to is that your side is so single-mindedly focused on hating the other side
Yeah.
that they can't do even the thing that will save their own lives
Right.
if it's suggested to them by the other side, because then they'll feel like cucks.
Right.
Literally the word that the guy used is,
Yeah.
it would make us feel like cucks.
But
That is slang for all of you people who don't know that. That is slang. It comes from the word cuckold, and it comes from, I think, from like incel talk. It was like that was the big incel insult, was like
calling somebody a cuck.
calling someone a cuckold. Someone your wife has slept with someone else.
Right.
Ha 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 ha. What the fuck are you talking about? Anyway, yes, cucks.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me, but I think it's breaking them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really doing a number on their psychology
The level of cognitive dissonance that you would have to be experiencing at this point.
on a constant basis.
Yeah.
It just keeps coming up. And yet they're still believing that like the big lies are the ones that are flowing from the left. Like, Biden didn't win, and we'll know because Trump is coming back at any minute. And every time another one of those milestones comes and goes and Trump isn't back in power, they break a little bit.
But they've never broken about Jesus coming back.
2,000 years and they're still rocking.
They're just used to that one.
That one they're used to.
That's just the white noise of Christianity.
Yeah. Well, the word generation can mean a lot of things, Frank. He said he would come back in this generation, and that means this epoch, this
Oh yeah, yeah.
age.
Right.
I don't know what it means, man.
Well, I'm sure it was century, and then it was millennia, and then it was 2 millennia,
Right.
And
Right. Within this generation of planets.
yeah.
So by the time this turns into a different planet, Jesus will come back.
Oh, so much to look forward to.
It's just so great. Yeah.
And you can speed it up by giving some.
He literally meant geologic time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
of course that's what he meant.
It's all he could have meant. It's been 2,000 years. What else could he have meant?
Oh golly. Well, I want to see some brains break, but I think that they're starting to set up the escape plan.
Well,
They obviously are.
they keep doing it.
And so I think we're going to see a bunch of people. Hopefully we start seeing people get vaccinated. I hope it works. I want them. I don't care how they end up getting vaccinated. I don't care what it takes.
Yeah.
I need these people vaccinated.
Call us cucks. We'll let you do
take it.
Call us, just be like, I'm getting a vaccine now and you're the cuck. And we'll be like, we are the cuck.
Before it's all done, they will, Dan.
I know. I know.
They'll figure it out. It'll take a minute.
It's a remarkable thing. But I mean, it is why we know that republicanism in America, because I don't care about your politics, but republicanism isn't political. It is religious now.
Mm-hmm.
That is a religion, and those who are holding fast to it are religious fundamentalists, and it's breaking them, and they're literally dying from it. It's literally killing them by the hundreds of thousands.
I know. And it was all part of the plan.
It was all part of our plan, our devious plan.
We need fewer Republican voters.
So
look at how well it's working.
So we viciously told them to get the vaccine. We're just cruel, Frank. We're just mean at this point.
It's unbelievable. It's madness is what it is.
Yeah. What we should start to do is tell them that they should vote Republican. You should.
Brains explode.
We really want you to do. That's what we want you to do. We don't need you. We don't want you to come to our side. You stay there. We'll see what it does.
Well, they behave like a bunch of 4-year-olds. Maybe
it'll work.
Maybe it'll work.
All right. Well, friends, if you have any reverse psychology that you'd like to use on us, write it into us. podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Or don't call us. Huh? Yeah, we don't want that.
It's working, isn't it?
It's working. You feel like calling, don't you? Anyway, hey, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist. Click the like button.
And if you'd like to join one of our members-only lounges, you can do so by going to our website, thankgodimatheist.com/members-only. And it'll take you over to maybe Facebook, if that's what you like, or to Discord for you young folk.
Yeah, for you people who don't realize that we left all of that kind of message board in the 90s for a reason. Anyway, thanks to the Red Rock Hot Club for the use of their beautiful music.
And thanks to Gordon Johnston for the use of his music.
And thank all of you so much for tuning in. We sure do appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.